Hello everyone. In this video, I will be discussing two cloud migration strategy, Replatform and Rearchitect. Using the example on Teradata migration, we will be theoretically exploring what each approach means, the motivation factor behind choosing one of these options, and the pros and cons associated with these two approaches. All the notes are available on my GitHub page. Let's dive into the video.
And let us start with Replatform. This is often called a lift and shift approach, where the same technology from your existing system is moved to the cloud. For example, if we are migrating Teradata to Azure, you can go with two options under Replatform. Option 1 is deploy a VM in Azure and install Teradata Vantage yourself. This is an Azure IaaS infrastructure as service based setup. The option 2 is use a Teradata Vantage directly from Azure Marketplace. In this case, you don't have to worry about the infrastructure provisioning, performance, security, or operations. It is fully managed service handled by Teradata. Now let us look at the re-architect. Here, instead of just lifting and shifting, you completely redesign the entire workload using Azure native services such as Azure Synapse, Data Factory, and Databricks. For example, instead of carrying over legacy Teradata store procedures and logics, you rebuild them using components like T-SQL in Synapse, pipeline in ADF to orchestrate that SQL scripts. And if the volume of data is too large, you can have big data processing. You can leverage the big data processing options available in Azure, like Databricks or Spark notebooks. So, which one of these two strategy is right for an organization? Let's start with Replatform first. This is a good option if the organization has some big investment in Teradata. The nice part is that they can reuse the existing Teradata license with bring your own license and still reuse their existing SQL or the ETL scripts. If they go with Teradata Vantage from Azure Marketplace, it also gives them a hybrid cloud setup, meaning they can keep using their on-premise system while also tapping into the flexibility of cloud. Now let us look at Rearchitect. This is better choice if the goal is to re-engineer everything into a cloud native solution. It helps fix current gap and also set up the platform for a future ready architecture, supporting streaming workloads and handling very high volume of transactions.
Now let us talk about the pros and cons of these two approaches. Starting with Replatform, the main advantage of Replatform is that you can retain your existing Teradata environment. Migration is simpler because you reuse most of the existing object like stored procedure and BTQ scripts. If you are moving to a SaaS-based option like Teradata Vantage from Azure Marketplace, you just need to make sure that the version you are running on-prem matches with the version in the cloud. If not, you will need a pre-migration upgrade first. The limitation here is the pricing. Teradata usually follows a subscription-based model where you pay for the provisioned compute and storage, whereas in case of many cloud native data warehouse offer both provisioned and a serverless option. This is useful when an organization want to balance the traditional um, DW data warehouse or BI workload with lot of ad hoc analysis. Now coming to Rearchitect, the pros are the things like auto scaling for dynamic workload and better cost flexibility. You get an options like a pay as you go model for serverless or a subscription um, model for provisioned resource. But the biggest drawback here is the complexity in migration compared to Replatform. Let's take the Teradata to Azure Synapse example to see why. First, you need to convert the Teradata object to the Synapse equivalent. This means converting the Teradata data types correctly, applying the right indexing strategy. For example, Teradata um, supports primary and secondary index. When it comes to Synapse, it has to be clustered columnar store indexes. Next would be historical and data migration, then setting up incremental load strategy for ongoing synchronization. Finally, we need to re-engineer the existing workload, like the stored procedure. Say, for example, the stored procedure can be converted into T-SQL in Synapse, or you might choose to rewrite them in using Spark. For Spark-based workload, you can either use Synapse Spark pool, or you can leverage Azure Databricks service. And all this has to be will be orchestrated using Azure Data Factory. The point is, all this would a lot of rewriting and a lot of development and lot of testing. This incurs time and resource. So that was a quick overview of Replatform versus Rearchitect. I hope this video gave you some clarity on how these two strategies differ and when each one makes sense. Thanks for watching, and I hope you find it useful. For notes and references, you can check out my GitHub page. See you in the next video.